Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be talking all about how to deliver a football coaching session to 5 to 7 year olds. This is one of the most important times for a child to have a fun experience with sport, with football, and you as a coach are in a really valuable position there to make sure that they enjoy sport, they have a good time and they develop. Now, before we do get going, if you wouldn't mind, please do hit the like button. It makes a big difference on us helping to reach more accounts on YouTube and try and build up our profile as well. So to split today's video down, I'm going to go through 5 different coaching tips, which I think are really important when you're working with 5 to 7 year olds. And at the end, I'm going to give you an example of a session that I would deliver. If I was asked to deliver a session in 2 minutes time, it would be my go-to session for any 5 to 7 year olds. And I'll talk you through that in a bit as well. So the first thing that you should understand as a coach working with 5 to 7 year olds is how important this time is in terms of them developing and as young people. So between the ages of 3 to 7 are the ages that most young people are going to learn the majority of their fundamental movement skills. And these fundamental movement skills are what helps a child to go on and develop and really sort of hone in their skills on certain individual sports. So it's like your locomotor skills, which are running, hopping, jumping, side steps, leaping, all that sort of stuff. And so what you're trying to do as a coach for 5 to 7 year olds is bring in lots of movement, lots of activity, lots of fun games where children are going to be able to practice these movements without it being a boring sort of game. So working on your fundamental movement skills at this age is really important, and also bringing in football to that at the same time. So my second tip when you are working with young footballers is that they are always given the experience of having a ball at their feet. So if you have got 30 children, try and get 30 balls to the session. It makes such a big impact especially at the start of your session when you're giving them lots of time to experiment with the ball, dribbling around, having little touches. It makes a big difference in them understanding how the ball feels, and you can bring in your fundamental movement skills to that as well. You know, all your little games where you're doing your TikToks and they've got to go left to right, or they're doing their toe taps and they're practicing their hopping, and there's so many different skills fundamentally that children need to know for all sports that you can bring into your football here. And having a ball each is one of the best ways to start your session. Children will love it, and it gets a lot of energy flowing straight away into your session. And when they have a ball each, it's not like you have to give them loads of instructions on how to do. You can just give them a ball each and it's dribbling around the area. Really simple, really easy, and that's really important. So my third point is how important matches are at this age. So I always split my sessions into thirds. So I'd have my warm-up, then my main session, and then my matches. And 5 to 7 year olds can do all the practicing in the world, dribbling, doing all the sort of fun games and stuff. But unless they are actually starting to learn the game as well, I think you're missing a massive part. So matches should always be small-sided games. If I'm working with 5 to 7 year olds, I'm looking to work in like 2 versus 2s, 3 versus 3s, maximum is 4 versus 4s. Go more than that and you're going to find lots of children on the pitch aren't actually touching the ball, they're sort of chasing the ball. If you go 2 versus 2s, there's nowhere to hide. They're going to be getting the ball, they're going to be able to take a throw in or whatever it is, a goal kick, and they're just going to have more experience on the ball, which means that they have a fun time and they're developing in the game at the same time. And my fourth rule for any coach delivering to 5 to 7 year olds is kill the drill. And when I say kill the drill, it's anything with lines, more than 3 children in a line where they've got to you have like 10 kids in a line and they've all got to dribble up, pass to the coach, he sets it off and then you shoot. Anything like that that's boring and is going to make children wait around is not the best type of session. You want your games being really fun. So thinking about the jungle, or you're going into the desert, and it's like trying to make things creative and fun. And there's games, and you're playing a crocodile swamp, and you've got to pass the monkey. You've got to pass the nuts across the river, and the monkey is in the middle trying to steal the nuts. And anything like that just gets children moving, having them fun, and then they're playing games, not boring drills. Okay, so you want to focus on your games, ignore the drills, and then always finish with matches at the end. So it's important you get your vocab right. Games and matches. Okay, so use your matches as actual matches, but games can be anything like 2 versus 1s, anything like that. So really work on trying to kill the drill, make your sessions really fun, and that will make a big difference on the sessions that you're delivering. And my fifth one is that buzzword is fun. Now, this age, 5 to 7 year olds, if they don't enjoy football in their first experience when they're 5 to 7, chances are they might not come back to it for a long time or might not ever come back to football. You as a coach got a big responsibility. You've got 5 to 7 year olds coming in and you've got to make sure every single one of them leaves with a smile on their face. They've had a chance to play football, they've learned something, and they've had fun. Okay? It's not all about the warm-up and the main session and that sort of thing. Matches are great as well for bringing in fun, and whatever you're doing, kids need to enjoy the session. So that sort of bonus tip as well for you is that it needs to be simple. And I use the phrase KISS, so keep it simple, stupid. Okay, so if you can keep your sessions simple, helps the kids, so they're not waiting around for ages for you to try and explain a really complicated game. Like I said earlier, right, everybody, here's a ball dribbling around the area. It takes you 5 seconds to explain the game, and off they go, and they're into it. So really try at that age group, they're going to find things confusing. When you start putting them into pairs or threes, for certain games, they might struggle with getting into teams. So think about everything you're doing, keep it really simple, so that almost every stop that you ever need to make in your session can be done in 30 seconds, and you move on to the next thing. If you do need a little bit longer, use demonstrations, maybe use a whiteboard, make it really visual, and don't just rely on your voice to explain the game. You need to make it very visual for everyone as well. So that's my bonus tip. Now, like I said, I promised a go-to session that I always use, so here it is. So the way I'm going to split up my session, I'm focusing on my topic, which is going to be dribbling today. Fantastic topic for 5 to 7 year olds, getting used to the ball, lots of little touches. And I want all the children by the end of the lesson to know that little touches are really important when we're dribbling and to not panic when other people come near us. Okay? So what I'm going to start with is a game with animals. So everyone, straight from the off, gets a ball, and we are going to be moving around with our ball, and any animal I call out, you have to be whilst you're keeping control of the ball. So I might say elephant, and they've got to stomp around like elephants, and they're looking after the ball at the same time. I might say cheetah, and they've got to run really quick with the ball. It might be giraffes, and they've got to go on tiptoes and dribble with the ball. So just lots of fun things straight away from the off. Anyone who's late, it's an easy game for them just to join in. You don't have to explain it. They just get a ball and they join in as well. So that's a really nice sort of warm-up game, gets them used to a ball at their feet, and leads me nicely into my second game, or my main session, which is through the gate. Very simple, you've got your area already lined out. Just put a few gates down. When you're using gates, don't put a blue and a white cone down. If it's a white gate, put 2 white cones down. If you're using a blue gate, same there, and make it really visual and easy. Especially if you line out your area, don't line it out multicolour cones. Okay, it's a big no-no in my book. It's a white area, and you're going to be using blue cones for the gates, for example. Make it really visual and easy to understand. And with this game, they've got to dribble through as many gates as they possibly can within 1 minute. You actually use your stopwatch, so you can stop it at 1 minute. They can say, oh yeah, I've got 20 gates. Don't need to ask them to call it out loud, because they're going to lie and it's going to not be very accurate. So tell them in their head, what did you get? I'm going to give you another minute, and you've got to try and beat your target. Oh, fantastic. Off they go again, 1 minute. Then you can start reducing the time. You might make the gates smaller. If they're finding it difficult, you can give them bigger gates or a bigger area, more time, anything like that. And then to progress that, you can introduce a defender. So maybe defenders initially, because they're only 5 to 7, if a defender is stood in a gate, you're not allowed to dribble through it. So defenders can't tackle. If they stood in a gate, you can't dribble through that gate. To progress it, defenders can maybe step 1 or 2 steps off of the gate that they're on to go and tackle someone, and then progressing it even further is they can go anywhere in the area and kick your ball out of the area. And when they do kick a ball out, they're not out, they're not like left on the side. Chances are, if their ball got kicked out, they're probably not the best in your group anyway, so they need more and more time to practice. So if the ball does go out, they go and get it, and off they go again. They're learning from their mistakes. So that's really important. Which then takes me into my matches. My matches are going to be, I'm going to have it 3 versus 3. I'm going to make the pitches reasonably big for the age group, because the more space they've got, the more likely they are to dribble. And we're just going to play matches at the end, like just really encouraging positivity. Whenever children are running with the ball and they're taking players on, I'm going to praise that and go reward it. So other players are doing it as well. So it's using the technique called catching in rather than catching out. So any kids who are doing the right sort of thing, showing you that they can dribble, then that's going to be lots of positives, maybe a sticker, all that sort of thing. So that would be a go-to dribbling session. Obviously, there's so many different things you can do, lots of content out there, lots of different topics, but you can see the type of session I'm trying to deliver and why I'm trying to deliver that. It's really important that we look at the fundamental movements throughout the whole session. We look at them having a good amount of time with a ball within your session. They get a chance to play matches. It's not boring, kill the drill sort of stuff, and it's fun. Okay, and you're keeping it simple. So out of those, hopefully from today's video, it gives you an idea of how you're going to structure your own session. Feel free to go and copy my exact session that I did at the end, or just adapt the different bits that I've done to suit a topic that you're delivering, and that will really help you as a coach, help your kids enjoy the sport. And yeah, if you can go and deliver a fun session and it goes well, let me know, drop it in the comments. And yeah, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.